All right, man, I hate to do this to you, but...
Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dagger Shadow, the internet personality with the best hair, and Halloween Ends just came out. Assuming YouTube didn't put this video in copyright jail and it didn't come out until February. But the point is, as of this recording, I haven't actually seen it yet, but you know what movie I have? An Asylum mockbuster, of course. Not of Halloween Ends, no. This movie, Halloween Night, is from way back in 2006. That means it's a mockbuster of, that's right, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Well, that's opening combination right there. An Asylum mockbuster of Rob Zombie's Halloween. You know, some say that Rob Zombie's take on Halloween was a mockbuster in and of itself. Or Halloween Ends. But this is mid-2000s Asylum we're talking about here, so don't expect an inexplicably big-name actor showing up for one scene, or even an ounce of creativity. You've seen literally any slasher movie? Great. In Halloween Night, a disfigured man murders his way out of an insane asylum, and just so happens to wind up at a Halloween party filled to the brim with stupid teenagers making poor life choices. One thing leads to another, and before you know it, the body count rises. So, let's take a look at Halloween Night and see just how they can screw that one up. And let's get this out of the way first. I did way more digging than anyone should logically have to in order to find out the truth behind that claim. You know what I discovered? It's accurate, but not in a way that actually matters. So let's get the movie proper started and... Okay, hold up. We will get started momentarily, but just a fair warning here. This is an Asylum 2000s mockbuster of Rob Zombie's Halloween, so they kind of went that direction and started full I spit on your grave mode here with things that I can't exactly specifically name for fear of the demonetization. So, if that ain't your bag, no hard feelings, feel free to skip ahead to the next segment of this review in 3, 2, 1. Don't say I didn't warn you. This is the backstory of how not Michael Myers, Chris Vale, got so fucked up. Because watching a gang of assholes force themselves upon your mother on top of the furniture you're hiding under will kinda do that to you.
How was it? Shit. Woo! When the fuck did you kill her?
Oh yeah, the rest of that was wholesome family entertainment, but this is going a little too far here, don't you think? The masked men are all like, "'Cause we're professionals." Anyway, still gotta finish setting up the backstory, so Chris runs away from the hiding place to the convenient steam pipe in the living room so his mother can start moaning and they can shoot her, which hits the pipe, burning and disfiguring the boy. I gotta love when a movie starts in its backstory, but not any of the actually important parts, just the ones that make you want to turn off the movie. Seems after that shit, Chris Vale went fucking insane and as such is institutionalized. Remember though, this is a ripoff of Rob Zombie's Halloween, thus the orderlies are abusive asshats, tormenting him with the masks that trigger his trauma. Oh well, that's nothing a little murder can't solve. And he escapes. Not that the sheet and mask were all that convincing, it's just in all these 10 years it seems they never bothered to actually hire security at this facility. Following this, we get a way too damn long generic spooky opening credit sequence. Come on, the scariest thing here is when it drops the name of Mark Atkins. Anyway, it's time to introduce our obligatory assortment of young adults. David, played by Derek Ozdak, is having a party. He invites everyone, such as Larry, played by Sean Duray, but there's far too many people to introduce right now, so let's jump inside to where David talks in confidence with Todd, played by Nicholas Daly Clark, about needing to go and fetch Daryl and prepare for their super epic prank tonight.
People have been coming up to me left and right, and they've been sitting there all bummed out that I'm not doing anything for the last Halloween before we graduate and shit like that, but dude, we are.
The prank played on the audio department, the obvious laugh there that is just completely silent, and they didn't think to maybe, I don't know, cut to literally anything else, a jack-o'-lantern on a table for that few seconds just to hide that problem. So David's talking up their epic prank. Boring. Let's jump over to some hot ladies-only conversations. Because this is 2006 Asylum, they might not have known how to write a decent movie yet, but they did have plenty of actresses on standby willing to take their tops off. Such as the ones playing Kendall and Angela here, who you might recognize as constantly topless lesbians from that other Asylum movie, Invasion of the Pod People, played by Amanda Ward and Erica Kessler. Or Erica Robbie, as this was before she got married. I spent way too long researching this lady to make sure I got this right. Hey! Erica was born on July 28th, 1983. Wait a minute. I don't have a long-lost fraternal twin, do I? Whose rack I was just checking out? But there's that party to prepare for, so any scissoring must be done for arts and crafts for the time being. In the meantime, the guys are hard at work preparing.
What's up, David? How you doing, nigga?
And I can't find anyone named that on the IMDb page. I think this is Mitch, played by Mike Zent. He's working with David on that epic prank, borrowing a certain thing from his cousin, but David's gotta head out and pick up another person for the prank. Daryl, the leather jacket bedecked smoking badass cool dude, played by Jared Cohn. He's so cool, he's mildly famous, which might be an issue as Daryl is counting on no one knowing who he is, but whatevs. Todd doesn't have to worry about that on his end of the prank though, as he and Jeannie, played by Amelia Jackson Gray, pick up his costume, an executioner outfit, complete with full mask and real medieval weapons, just for that extra slice of authenticity. But whoopsie-doodle, here's a police blockade up ahead.
They're searching trunks. Put that in the back. Come on. You know these weapons aren't legal in this state.
Quick, hide the nunchucks, the blades longer than 5 inches, and the pepper spray. No, the flamethrower is fine. But as it turns out, the police aren't looking for contraband, but for an escaped mental patient, Chris Vale. He murdered his way to freedom! And they kinda need to find him before a horror movie erupts or something.
Dial 911 if you see this man. He's extremely dangerous.
I won't be able to forget that face.
And I have to admit, at least they put in the effort for the makeup and effects. The Asylum could have just wrapped him in bandages and called it a day. Armed with this information, Todd calls up David like, "Yo, dude, there's a frickin' psychopath on the loose."
Fucking sweet. I gotta take a shit. I'll see you later.
Jesus, David realizes he's in an Asylum movie. And by take a shit, David meant he's gonna smuggle Daryl to the house party. No one must know he is here, so they shuffle him off to the basement for the time being, before we see that it turns out that Todd has to stop for gas, and uses this opportunity to change into this costume. But wouldn't you know it, this gas station just so happens to be exactly where Chris Vale ran to, somehow. Rather than run and scream though, Todd makes small talk, until Chris steals a knife.
Oh, why don't you just give me that, man?
Ooh. The absolutely detestable Asylum quality characters somehow made that more satisfying. As we could all see coming, Chris follows this one up like, ooh, free costume, and as luck would have it, the executioner garb just so happens to completely cover his face, and even luckier, Todd was known for getting just a little too into character. So the fact that Chris behaves totally unlike Todd actually means he's acting totally like Todd, which pisses Jeannie off, as usual for their relationship. Now, she's only mildly confused when it seems the man can't find his way back to the party, insisting on driving around seemingly at random.
Todd, we're going the wrong way.
And the body count rises. And damn YouTube for being so pissy these days. That kill goes on and on with a lot of flailing and slashing and blood splatter going everywhere. And it's actually pretty impressive. And I can't show you for fear of the yellow dollar sign of poverty. Skipping ahead to nightfall, we are introduced to the Troll, who guards the drawbridge to the party, played by Michael Schatz. Normal deal, he's got a riddle. Get it wrong, you're in the stocks. Get it right, you can go and free someone to bring with you.
An object lies within a man's pants with a hole in its head and as stiff as a lance. If inserted correctly into the right hole, oh what yonders it shall behold.
Ooh, I got it. A 9mm with hollow points.
It's a key.
Brains and beauty, lass, you may pass.
Thank you.
I call shenanigans. This would be David's girlfriend, Shannon, played by Rebecca Kochen. Though as of late, she feels neglected. Also, Larry's there like, hey, Todd called, Chris Vale escaped. Seems besides the opening, they also never found his mother's body, and his father offed himself. Well, sucks to be him, but it's time to party! The theme is medieval debauchery, as you can tell from the Party City Renaissance garb and complete lack of debauchery. One more thing, David just so happened to find a locket, so hey, girlfriend, you wear it. Yeah. Probably will be important later. First things first, though, it's time to bring Daryl to the party, who is immediately recognized, kind of spoiling the plan. So David's like, hey, how about you get the fuck out of here and retrieve the magical, legendary stereo equipment. Yeah, need it now, so hop to it.
With the roadblock, it'll be like an hour.
Fuck the roadblock, dude. They just let you right through. They don't even look in. You ever have a roadblock? Fucking forget about that. The party's gonna still be here.
It did seem to stop Todd earlier, but I guess since then they just brought out the police check easy pass. Which explains how somehow Chris Vale got past the roadblock and to the party with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Unless you count the guy not appreciating that crispy villain doesn't know how to not park like an asshole.
Move your car, buddy.
And the body count rises! God damn, Chris is racking up kills like this is a part 4. I wonder what Michael thinks about this kid. You know what I think? I really like that Chris Vale kid. Just like you should like that Chris Vale kid and like this video. And subscribe if you haven't already for more great reviews at a relatively reasonable pace. Like, walking slowly towards the person you intend to murder. And he's not going to slow down anytime soon, as we could all see coming. When it comes time to answer the troll's riddle, Chris gives him a chop to the cranium and a kick in the ass! This gives him access to the party full of masked men, like those who killed his mother. So he slaughters 3 more, before running into Shannon, and oh, would you look at that! The necklace just so happens to be the same one his mother wore. Saw this coming a mile away, and that stops his slaughter long enough for David to come up like, Todd! Really dig the getup. Nice touch with the blood, real cool.
What are you taking it out now for? What are you, stupid? Stay there.
Though while it makes sense that early on everyone just kind of assumes it's Todd, they keep on assuming throughout the whole movie. Don't call Chris stupid when you don't think that maybe the guy running around killing everybody might be running around killing everybody. So Chris has to wait while David gets everything ready. But what's this? People are complaining that the leather jacket and sunglass bedecked asshole is being rude and annoying everyone. So David's like, hey, don't know you, get the hell out. So they fight, and David immediately calls the police, and they wrestle up until Chris closes in with the axe. But then Daryl pulls a gun on him.
Drop the fucking axe!
Alright. Oh shit.
What are you surprised about? Can you even call it a party unless the police arrive? So, new plan, Daryl takes Chris hostage, waving his gun around like an asshole and hiding it before the officer comes in. So Daryl holds him up as well.
Whoa! I think you better give me your gun, officer.
The whole time Chris is just standing there like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Especially the officer who is like, okay then, here you go. So Daryl is guns akimbo saying, okay, now give me the keys to your car. Must be community outreach day as he hands them right over. And all that's left is for Daryl to keep Chris hostage and tell everyone that if anyone follows him, Todd gets it. But on the right side, they got him to leave the party. Officer Useless says, well, I guess I can follow him. David, give me the keys to your car. And he leaves. Right before the police arrive. Again! Because the last one was Mitch, and he ain't a real cop. It turns out this was all just an elaborate prank by David, who also somehow convinced everyone that Daryl was the escaped Chris Vale, and they all legit thought that their lives were in danger.
It was a joke. That's what the whole thing was, a joke.
You asshole!
And you know what the best part is? This is the part of the movie that is actually based on real events. One of the people who was making the movie evidently did have a party way back when, and they pulled this same stupid prank. Presumably without the body count in real life.
You dick!
As such, the party is over and everyone shuffles out, ignoring the dead troll along the way because still no one suspects a thing, least of all Daryl, who still thinks Chris is Todd, even after he tries to shoot him, but oh no, no bullets, no bother, just choke him with the seatbelt.
What are you doing?
You'd think at some point this guy would realize that the killer killing him is trying to kill him. That was a mere sleeper hold, though, giving Chris the chance to drag Daryl out and stab him with a claymore. He's got plenty of time for this, considering it takes an entire argument scene between David and Shannon before Mitch even makes it to the scene of the crime. Guess he's taking the cop act seriously. As such, he has no idea what's going on or why Todd won't talk to him.
And drop the act.
Which might have been a much more interesting scene had he actually found the body first and realized that this guy was killing people and been running and screaming in terror at some point, but this is an Asylum movie. They're leaning into their strengths. Stupid characters. As such, while the party is well and truly over, long before anyone was ready to call it quits, a handful of recognizable characters decide to say fuck it and stay. That way, when Chris hoofs it back to the house, he can pick them off one by one. Ah, come on, Shannon, you don't think this looks the least bit suspicious? Didn't you hear the audio cue? She's insistent on having a word with Todd, but it turns out this is Chris Vale! Seeing his face and her sheer terror should cue you in that she isn't going to be killed here. Necklace, remember? She gets hugs and tied down by the side of the bed. Not that anyone else noticed this anyway. They were out of frame while she was screaming. Besides, they've got important lore to exposit to the audience.
We're in the same fucking house that Chris Vale lived in.
Of course you are. I was wondering how the Asylum picked this setup so cheap. And Chris is right behind him, but he still thinks it's Todd, so, meh. Now, Chris was unmasked, but he put it back on because we can't have anyone in this movie die from anything other than stupidity. Such as our next victim, Tracy, played by Alicia Klein.
Oh, I'm so scared. You're gonna kill me now? The blood is a very nice touch.
The "they don't know it's the real killer" gag works once, maybe twice, but not for every single death over the entire runtime of your whole frickin' movie. One slash and she's done.
Tracy. Holy shit. That is fucking sweet.
And at least someone appreciates the work the makeup crew has been putting into this movie. But when David realizes that Tracy is really dead, he is really horrified, running for help. But the ladies assume he's just trying to scare them again. Until Chris Vale attacks. Kendall runs for her life while Angela has a topless kickboxing action scene. I really wasn't expecting that. Now, I gotta check, are there any more movies with topless kickboxing in them? David, on the other hand, has to get his gun. He doesn't know what's going on, but fortunately, that handy-dandy article can fill him in.
Oh shit, Chris Vale used to live in this house. That's just peachy, that's sweet.
And the that didn't just look like Chris Vale's mother's, it actually was hers. Because when you acquire a house to sell where something horrible happened, you leave the valuables exactly where they are. David does manage to find Shannon, but one little whack with a bat is all it takes. He's done. But now it's time for the real twist. It turns out that Chris's mother's body is hidden behind the wall. You see, after she died, her husband hid her away, barricaded the wall, and just so happened to have some handy-dandy wood-grain stickers nearby that perfectly concealed the compartment forever. No one even noticed the smell. Then he offed himself, but Chris has finally reunited with his mother. In more ways than one. If the movie had took place in Texas, Chris would have met that fate sometime around the 15-minute mark. But lest we forget, this is a super spooky horror movie, so just because he's dead, that doesn't mean he's dead. So Shannon shoots the body bag. But as it turns out, Chris has escaped, and she actually shot David. Hey, win-win. Anyway, that was Halloween night. Oh, that was so bad. I loved it. I'm arguably a bit nostalgic for mid-2000s Asylum. Those are the movies I reviewed when I started this, and there's still quite a few in there I haven't tackled, and boy, they are just as terrible today as they were back then. The acting is bad, the writing is hardly there, and there is oh so little creativity when it comes to the concept of the plot, being far more of a direct rip-off of the property that they're making a mockbuster out of. But, as I said, I've gotten to the point where I find a certain charm to that, and if I'm being honest, this actually didn't totally fail as a slasher movie. The character design for Chris Vale is memorable enough, even if his executioner garb gives off reboot Death Race vibes, and the motivations are minimal at best, but weirdly enough, the kills were actually alright. They were paced well and creative enough for the most part. The most disappointing aspect of the kills has to be the fact that just about everyone who dies so stupidly. 90% of their last words are, "Todd, what are you doing?" The gag gets real old real fast. Still, the creativity of the kills and the body count actually mean this does do a decent job as a slasher movie, if only barely, coming in at 2 topless kickboxers out of 5. I mean, it ain't a classic, but beats the hell out of Alien Origin. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shadow, and remember, Halloween Ends could have been a lot worse.
You dick!
Wow, that was sure a great video. I sure like the fact that I like this video and subscribed. And you should too, if you don't want to see a weird shape hiding outside of your house this night, or next, or whenever I can finally walk my way over there. And if you want to see more of me walking and killing things, you could always check out the entire summer of Halloween. And if that's not your bag, there is the algorithmically selected recommended video. I mean, excuse me, I need to go murder some babysitters.